Hello, hello, once again, family. Mm. So grateful for each and every one of you that is watching this video here and now, no matter when, no matter where. So grateful to be connecting with you once again. It's so amazing that we get to do this. So amazing to me that we get to connect no matter where we're at. Today, I feel it in my heart to speak on my experience when it comes to the struggle or equation of not being able to hear God's voice and not being able to feel God's presence in my life in certain moments. And whatever God means to you, I'm aware of like higher self, of the biblical God. I want to clarify that I'm speaking about Source, our creator, creatrix, whatever label you want to place. And I'm not speaking about religion, I'm speaking about relationship. And for a limitless being, the relationship that you have with them, I imagine, is that of a healthy kind. It for sure is the healthiest relationship that I currently possess. So in those moments when I feel like, where's my best friend? Why can't I hear God? Why can't I feel God? In those moments, I try to remind myself that somebody that is sitting or standing right next to you doesn't need to scream or yell. At least I hope the people around you don't feel the need to scream. So keeping that in mind, I marinate in the thought of, okay, what energy is God coming at me with? A couple things I know about my personal relationship with God is that I'm never alone. Even when I feel like I am, when I convince myself that God's not there, or when I allow the world to convince me that God's not there. Thinking that helps me remember that God's voice for me in my life is the voice of truth, of calm, of knowing, not needing to believe, because if you know, you don't need to believe. I pray this is landing for you as it has landed for me in my life, in my existence, in my journey. In my experience, God is good. Not because of everything in the world being good, being something that is always good. Of course, there are things that are sad to hear. I'm saying God is always good because we are allowed to exist without any limitations, any boundaries, just allowed to exist fully. And I've learned a lot about my relationship with God and that deep, deep allowance that God possesses. And I feel so inspired by this connection. I do what I can to learn from that, to emulate that, to incorporate, integrate that into my life, into my everyday relationships with others. And through my relationships with others and how difficult it can seem at times, I'm reminded time and time again how good God is, how patient God is with me, how many times God has forgiven me, how many times has God lifted me up. I can't count. And when I think of that, when I allow myself to fully feel the presence of God, when I allow myself to slow down, quiet down enough to hear God's voice, everything else melts away. All the density that I may carry throughout a day in my heart, it melts away. Because compared to that relationship, my goodness, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So I invite you to consider the possibility that God never left, that you've simply allowed yourself to look away. You've allowed yourself to listen to the world, listen to the loud. And I can't blame you. It's loud. It's very overstimulating. So it's important to disconnect, to go into nature, be by water, and nourish your connection with God, your relationship. And you don't have to be perfect either. You don't have to be perfect. That's the best part is you can just be. And I imagine that if you pay attention more to that energy, then you'll find yourself slowly but perfectly starting to emulate that in your relationship. That calmness, that neutrality, that unwavering, that stillness, that allowance for you to experience everything without labeling. And I imagine that if all of this unfurls for you, that you'll find that life starts flowing a lot better and easier in ways that you can't even explain. Because if you could explain, then that's not magic. So what's the point of trying to explain? I'd rather be. Thank you so much once again for allowing this video into your awareness. Thank you, I bow before the God in you for being present and for taking the time. I truly appreciate you. Until the next time, this has been God's favorite child, aka another you. Bless.